Hello everyone, and can a certain few bastard individuals stop costing fun for the rest of us? Damn humanity. Alright, so, this is something that I didn't really pay too much mind to, didn't really care about until very recently, and you might have heard of it because it caused quite a stir in the community, and that is people abusing the custom games giving XP to basically freely AFK farm levels and boxes, etc, etc, and effectively loopholing and majorly taking advantage. And of course, when everyone was outraged, everyone blew up, I almost want to say overreacted. Now let me just quickly say, I obviously am not about to be like, I totally agree, I was there farming box after box, oh my god. But
This is not okay. This needs to stop now.
I still think complete, community outrage is a little bit too much for someone going AFK in a game and getting some boxes, but we'll get to that. And Blizzard, rightly did something about it. They listened, they realized, and what they did was make the AFK timer happen in skirmish, and of course there's the fact that the AFK timer in Overwatch is cripplingly, hilariously short. And that very much is what's got me to speak about this, because I'm probably uniquely in a position that this solution really negatively impacts me. Now, the problem that this really short AFK timer causes, and it's not a crazily major problem, hell, it's not even a problem for like 90% of the community, but the problem it creates is when I'm doing stuff like the science, it requires a lot of just standing there, setting stuff up, not really doing much time. And while I am technically playing the game, the AFK timer doesn't give a crap, and kicks me and everyone else consistently, and basically made the most recent one a nightmare. And of course we do most of the custom stuff, the science and the shenanigans, in skirmish, and skirmish now has the AFK timer that makes this just so much more stressful than it needs to be to do. And it does need to be in skirmish because we need the timer at the top of the screen to sync things instead of having to 3, 2, 1 on voice with different voice lag and all of that. The timer was immensely helpful, but now we can't really use it. And the thing is, they took away XP from skirmishes, so why they felt the need to also AFK timer it just seems so heavy-handed, especially on top of all of this, that Blizzard have said they're gonna actively try and ban people who are making XP farms, making games that encourage people to be inactive. They're taking a really strong stance against it, and they have to do. They're a company, they've got their face value to be concerned about, but still, think this solution, or more accurately, the people abusing the system that caused this to be implemented, are really ruining a part of what should be Overwatch's glorious future. And that sounds really hyperbolic, but I've talked about it before, the power, the potential of custom games thriving, evolving and growing in complexity over Overwatch's years, and really becoming a beast in their own right, and a reason that someone could play, even if they never touched, normal Overwatch. And now that you have this AFK timer caused by these assholes, it really restricts that, because let's just, off the top of my head, how would you do hide and seek as a custom game now? You straight up can't. It's gone. If you stand still for 20 seconds, you're gone. And yes, of course, you could try and deliberately not do the AFK timer, but the fact is you have to remember to just keep moving, to keep firing something, to keep doing any of that. But the thing is, that might give you away, slight sound, slight visuals. And look, I get it, this is a very specific point to make. You might be thinking, oh no, you can't play hide and seek as easily. Oh, but that's the point, okay? Because every problem starts small, and the best way to deal with a problem is to deal with it before it grows. So the idea that now, let's say in hide and seek, as I said, you just get kicked after hiding for 20 seconds if you forget to move, and that's reasonable, you're just gone, and it ruins the fun. And you can extrapolate that further. Somebody's playing a custom game, having a blast, they go to the kitchen, get a drink, come back, they're kicked. That's infuriating. That is just And you don't want that. And it's caused by these people who were farming XP by basically being AFK in spawn. And look, this is where I kind of feel myself having the urge to play Devil's Advocate. Sorry, Maze Advocate. And it's something I admittedly like doing, taking the opposite view to the one that I hold and really exploring it and having a discussion with people, with you guys, because you always bring great intelligent points to the table. So I'm going to play Devil's Advocate here and say, look, before this actually became a problem for me with the AFK timer as a result of this, I couldn't care a jot if people were AFK farming levels and boxes in spawn. I genuinely don't care. What do levels and cosmetics affect the game? Zero. How does some random Joe moron sitting in the spawn alt-tabbing, I'm getting items? How does that affect me and my enjoyment as a player if I'm not going to be pettily jealous, let's say? It doesn't. Ask yourself right now, if somebody just by accident, by an accidental coffee spilling on a console at Blizzard, got given 100% cosmetic unlocks, alright? You might feel wow, lucky him, I wish I had that, and that's fair enough. But come on, look within yourself and ask you, how does that actually affect you in any kind of negative light when you're enjoying Overwatch? I mean, it really doesn't. And you could do with well, they're getting stuff basically for no effort that I've had to earn. And yeah, I can see that argument, I really can. But then I feel like we're getting into dangerous territory, which is something I touched on in my seasonal events talk, is if you feel like you're playing Overwatch to earn something, that implies you're looking at Overwatch almost like work, that the gameplay is secondary to the earning of loot boxes and levels, and I don't think that's really the healthiest way to engage with the game to begin with, and that completely paves a potentially really skewed and backwards road in the future if we do get saturated with boxes. Now, admittedly, this problem does get a lot worse when seasonal events are on, because they are limited time, you've got to wait ages for them to come back, you don't have a lot of time to play, so yeah, someone farming boxes, that kind of sucks when you can't do the same, because, you have morals as a human being, and that's fair enough, but outside of a seasonal event, I couldn't give a crap if somebody is getting loads of the base game cosmetics and a shinier silver portrait because they're just sat in a spawn. I really couldn't. And if I'm being frank, I actually don't think there's anything wrong with letting them do that, because they're not actually negatively affecting anyone else. Look, again, Devil's Advocate, I don't actually think that they should just be left to do what they want, but I think the solution needs to have a lot more finesse. Hell, specifically only make it something that is heavily punished, heavily monitored, heavily restricted with this AFK timer during seasonal events so people can't abuse it, but in the off time, again, who gives a crap what they're doing? It doesn't affect you, me, any other player in any way. It's not like they're earning game power via doing this, in which case, yes, you can't stop what is effectively an exploit. And I don't disagree with players being mad. I get the psychological reasons, and I don't disagree with Blizzard taking action. You've got to appease your player base, and you don't want people abusing your systems. But that's the thing. People who abuse systems will always find a way to abuse systems. And I don't think that any kind of solution that negatively affects the people that weren't abusing the solutions is the right one. It's kind of a band-aid fix, and it's just a really inelegant solution to this problem, because now, and I'm sure a lot of people have noticed, the AFK timer ends up being really restrictive. And where does it end? If they keep finding newer and more creative ways to abuse it, it's just going to get different patches, different fixes, different restrictions, until the point that you're going to be preemptively choking aspects of the whole custom game amazing culture that is being built and coming into fruition before it really has a chance to grow, and that kind of sucks. So inherently, what I want to say is here, I don't think we should be letting these people ruin the fun for everyone else. The TLDR is, yes, I agree they shouldn't be getting easy boxes and levels for doing basically nothing, but I also maintain that them doing that has no negative impacts on me as a player, whereas the solution to stop them doing that has done. And that's where I think the problem lies, and I think it needs looking at again and readdressing. And granted, I can't think of a more elegant solution, but then again, I'm not a professional game designer. It's Blizzard's job to do this, and I really think it should be possible to come up with a better way to stop people abusing systems than a potentially universally harming effect that's going to restrict creativity going forward. So yeah, it really is a unique problem that affects a very small amount of people, but because of people act farming and the kind of, I want to say, sloppy solution, I'm gonna struggle to do science videos in the future. And obviously I'm not saying, God, how would we live without our science videos? But, losing something creative like that, something cool, because of this, that just seems not right. It's just a little ranty thing I wanted to say, and I would love your opinions, what you think all about this, if you agree, or you're like, no, I don't care what the cost, they cannot be allowed to get free boxes, and that's fine if you hold that. I want a lovely, sensible, and, calm discussion in the comments. But yeah, my name has been Rage. Like if you've enjoyed this, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. You've been watching